Hello there, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I'm your host, Joe Panther the Third. And man, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have an interesting thing. I've never had this happen before. We're supposed to have a gentleman on, but things happen, but things change. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to No Gibbon Deep. Welcome, dude. Welcome.
Thank you, Joe Panther III. I am happy to be a guest finally on Dudes at Ringside podcast. It is quite the honor and pleasure.
What is it? What is it, like 2 years? Like we've been trying and
I remember.
yeah.
Oh man,
So my first question for you, like, how did you get into the business?
I started at a little wrestling school called Pro Wrestling Academy, headed by Joseph von Schmidt. I was there for about 3 to 4 years. Eventually, the school went under. You know, things happen, people's personal lives, which I won't get into, but eventually I found myself at Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling with former WWF and WCW superstar Paul Roma
Mm,
and with former WWF superstar Mario Mancini. I've been with them since God 2017, and excuse me. With Joseph von Schmidt, he mostly taught me the basics, the bumping, the locking up, the rolls. Once I got to Paul Roma, he was starting to fine tune me, if you will, really showing me the psychology of wrestling, how to make it make sense. And not too long after I got under him, I finally made my debut in, I want to say it was June 2017. I've been with him ever since.
wow. So, like, what kind of advice did he give you? Those men give you that you put into your like your move set and stuff you do in the ring.
It is mostly just old school based, keeping it simple, using psychology to do the work for you. There's no reason to do five moves when you can go do one or two and get the same reaction, if not better reaction.
Hmm, interesting. So, is there like any other place in the country or the world that you would like to wrestle that you have not been to yet?
Ooh. Well, that would be just anywhere and everywhere, but try. I would say maybe reality wrestling with Booker T. That's
Hmm.
definitely high up on the list to try and get down to Texas. And I think that's about it. Because just anywhere and everywhere, mostly. There's
Mm,
not too many particular places I have my eye on, I guess, right now.
mm. I live in Pennsylvania. I would definitely love to see you come to like some promotions out here, like PPW. That's in Slatington, PA. I've been to like three of their shows. Their shows are really good. They're family oriented, but like they have lots of awesome wrestlers and lots of like older wrestlers come through. Like Wrecking Ball from NWA, he comes
Right.
through almost every show. He's really cool, really nice guy. Um, there's in a smaller promotion that's in PA called House of Pain. They have a school also. It's was ran by Rambo, John Rambo, former
Okay.
NWA superstar. He used to run the school. Somebody took over, but he used to be the head trainer. He's there on and off. Um, if you had to pick a list of four wrestlers that are no longer in the business that you would love to like you would have loved to like bump elbows with in the ring, who would that be?
Oh, jeez. Well, it's hard because it feels like no wrestler is really out of the business, especially this day. They're all on TV somewhere, somehow. But, ooh, yeah, you got to put Dusty Rhodes up there because just his mind for just wrestling was amazing. I get Pat Patterson was the same. If you can be Vince's right hand man, that's an accomplishment within itself and speaks to what you know. Vince Senior, just because I feel like we don't know a lot about Vince Senior, so I just want to pick his brain, see what he was like more than less.
Mm.
Fourth, I don't know. God, I think I have to come back with number four, but
Mm.
definitely those three guys. It's just somebody I would love to have a nice sit down conversation with and pick their brains.
Mm. So when you go on the road, do you prefer the local food or like the chain, like the Popeyes and the those kind of restaurants? Which one is like your favorite to go to?
You always gotta go with the chain. Yeah, you know what you're getting, but more or less they're always open. It feels like so after the show, late at night, 11, 12, 1 o'clock, you know what's open. You know what to get.
Mm.
I guess that's just always goes to chains.
Yeah. So what is your food of choice in one of the chains? Like if it's like a Popeyes, like what do you like? What is your number that you grab on the menu?
Uh, I guess for Popeyes, I keep it simple, just regular chicken sandwich. Nothing too spectacular.
Mm. Okay. So what is your normal like week of before a wrestling show like? What do you like? What is it like for you? Like training, or is it more like trying to get with the person you're supposed to wrestle with? What is it more like for you?
Uh, it's just more training, uh, more or less, because at this point I know my abilities and what I can do and how to execute. So I don't worry too much about who my opponent is. But if I have the opportunity to roll around with him in the ring, I definitely will take it because that would just better the match for ourselves and for the wonderful people that come to see our live events.
Hmm. So when it comes to your no gimmick now,
Yes,
no more gimmick. So what would you consider yourself? Heel? Face? Like what are you now?
full blown heel now. Just the old ways of Amish Zachariah Gibbs. They're done and gone. It's tired of the laughter from the fans and just being made fun of from the boys in the back. So it was time of time for a change. No more hat and suspenders and butter churn. It's my manager at PAPW so far out where he has taken me to a new level, and I am forever grateful for him. And I plan to do big things with him very soon now.
Mm, that's that's insane that you're no longer with the Amish community. Like what are you like? So for your future of yourself, where do you see this going? Do you see yourself continuing being a heel, or like what kind of belt do you think you said you're gonna go for now?
Definitely continue the heel and just I want all the gold. There's why share with anybody if you can have them all? There's but but I also know I gotta work at them slowly. I can't just go for them all at once. I gotta pick them off one by one.
Mm, cool. Is there like anybody on the indie scene that's in your neck of the woods, or like somewhere that's outside of where you are that you see on YouTube or on Instagram that you really want to work with?
I would say CPA. You know, he's very much a character. I mean that in a nice way, but I feel like him and I could just do something very special with each other and just we it goes back to the Paul Roma teaching of psychology. We can just do so much by doing so little. And I just feel like it will just be match of the night almost anywhere on the card in any promotion.
Mm, awesome. So, if I know you said you're not doing your Amish gimmick anymore, but if any of my fans would like to pick up anything, any like merch of yours, how can they find it?
I have a pro wrestling tee store. It is prowrestlingtees.com/Zach Gibbs, CAZACHGIBBS. And then very soon, I am getting in some new T-shirts, and I have some leftover inventory, so they can always hit me up on either on Twitter or Instagram, both at Amish Gibbs with a private message. DM me as these people say, and I can send it to them themselves if they would like.
Awesome. If in closing, if If any of my internationally known fans would like to, um, if they want to become a professional wrestler, like manager, ring announcer, like a wrestler, like what kind of advice would you give them?
And research the schools in your area or maybe a little bit out of your area. And I would say try to go to any of them that have a former, WWF superstars, WCW, whatever major promotion they were in at the time, because they were there and they know how to get there, and especially someone who keeps their eye on the product. Uh, uh, Bubba Ray Dudley is a great example. He has his own school and he watches wrestling. He talks about it, I think 3 times a week on Busted Open, so he knows what's going on every day of every week. But definitely try to get somebody who is in one of the top companies because again they know their stuff. If they Paul Roma was taught by Mr. Fuji, one of the greatest. If they were taught by somebody of that magnitude, that's even better for anybody. No matter if they want to be a ref, a manager, a wrestler, ring announcer, commentator, whatever the case may be.
Awesome. I want to thank you finally for coming on the podcast. Even though now you're in a different gimmick, so it's kind of cool that you got you on. Um, Please tell your wrestling friends. I want to definitely want to expand out. See, you can help me out. I'm Joe Panther the Third,
No gimmicks Gibbs here.
and we will catch you in the next one. Good night, everybody.